what apps or what websites can I use if I want to start investing? So let's say I have £1,000 now that I want to invest. Which app, website, or how do I start?
Okay. So let's say we've streamlined it down now that the best option for nurses is the stock market.
Okay.
That's the best option because it has no barrier of entry. What you need
Okay.
to start is not much.
Okay.
So if you want to invest in the stock market, let's say let's break how the stock market works down. So how the stock market works is that, let's say, Nosdio, you have a company
Mm-hmm.
and you want to generate more money to grow your company. You have borrowed money from bank, you have borrowed money from family and friend, but
Mm-hmm.
your company has grown to the level that you don't want to go to any family and friend again, and you want to raise more money. So what you now decide to do now is that I want to make my company public
Okay.
so that people of the public will have access to buy shares in my company.
Mm-hmm.
So what you then do now is that you are going to list your company on an exchange. Popular example are like the New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Once you list that company, the company is now available for people like me to invest in it. We can invest as low as we want to buy the share of your company and will become a part owner in that company. So when you buy a share of a stock, you are technically buying a business. You are becoming a part owner of that business. So that is how the stock market works. Now, in order to buy those shares of those companies, you need to buy them through what is called a broker. Those broker are the questions you now ask now about the app. So those brokers comes, they are the one that now created those app or websites for you to buy the share of any company you like. So if you want to buy a company stock now, the first step is to find a regulated broker. Example of the UK, they have to be regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK and also Financial Compensation Scheme. Because if they go bust and they are not under Financial Compensation Scheme, you lose all your money. So if you want to go with any broker, that's the first thing you should check. Are they
Mm-hmm.
regulated? So if they are regulated, fine, you can go with them. Now there are other things you also need to consider. There are many of these platforms that are regulated, but they all have slight differences in them. I'll give you the popular examples. In the UK, which I'm sure you have in Australia as well. So there's Vanguard, there is Trading 212, there is Hargreaves Lansdown, there is Invest Engine, there is Free Trade. So between these five, because they will make my explanation much easier, all of these five brokers, they are regulated and they are reputable. So anyone can go for them. But now here is the differences between them. Because you need to factor those differences if you really want to achieve your goal. So let's say I'll group Vanguard and Invest Engine together. And then the other three, Free Trade, Trading 212, and Agri Down, I'll group them together. Vanguard and Invest Engine, they only offer funds, things like exchange traded fund. So I will use this opportunity to explain exchange traded fund as well. So exchange traded fund are like basket of companies. So this is a basket. It now have various company inside. So when you buy that basket, you are buying all the companies that are inside it. The popular example is the S&P 500. The S&P 500 contains the 500 with the largest market capitalization in the US.
Mm-hmm.
That is what is inside the S&P 500. So if you buy that basket, you are buying the 500 biggest company in the US. So this is one of the reasons why stock market seems to be one of the best asset class to invest in. Because what asset class will give you this access to invest in the biggest companies around the world? There are many other ETFs as well. Some ETFs are not just for the US. They give you more diversification in that they contain companies around the world, both the US, Japan, Australia, Europe, everything is in there. The popular example is like the Vanguard All World ETF. It has over 3,000 companies in it. I mean, that's amazing. So when you buy that, you are buying 3,000 companies. So that is on that. So now Vanguard and Invest Engine, they only offer those ETF. They don't offer individual stocks at all. So if you are an individual that is still young and have a little bit of risk in you, and you want to try out individual stocks, then you know those ones are not for you.
Absolutely.
If you go with things like Trading 212, Free Trade, Hargreaves Lansdown, those ones offer both funds and individual stocks. So you can buy both fund and individual stocks in them.
Yeah.
Another thing you should consider is the cost of this platform. All of them have different costs to them. Vanguard, I believe, charge about 0.15%, but the maximum cap is like £350 a year if you have over 250,000 with them. In First Engine, no fee, except if you go with their managed fund. They also have managed fund, but obviously they are managing it for you. You need to pay their fee. But if you are doing it yourself, you don't pay any fee.
Do you advise people to get managed fund, or do you advise them to get their
I don't
own?
see any reason why anyone should get managed fund
Okay.
because the charge is ridiculous. And it has been known that the S&P 500 has always beaten all the managed fund over the years. So what's the point? So do it yourself. That's why we are doing this kind of thing we are doing here. So it's better people do it themselves. Because the people that created those ETFs, they created them so that they work passively. And people will have to pay lesser fee. Because the amount people are paying for professionals to manage their portfolio for them is too high. That's why they created these ETFs. So you are better doing it yourself because you have them already anyway. Trading 212 doesn't have any cost. It's zero commission. Free trade, they are like subscription based. You pay like 4.99 every month. Hargreaves Lansdown as well charge around 0.45% on their about. So before people open any app, they need to factor in these things and choose the one that suits their goal. So when people ask me which one should they go for, there's no right or wrong answer. All of them are good, but you just need to know what you want. The one I use personally is Trading 212. Obviously, this podcast or what we are doing is not sponsored, but just to let people know the one I use.
That's what I use.
Uh, yeah, quite beginners friendly. So that's what you need to consider before you go. So let's say you have now chosen the one you want. The next thing for you is to verify your identity with them, which you can use your driving license, BRP, your passport. So those are the things you can use to verify your identity. And once that is done, you need to link your account with your bank account. So when you link that, you'll be able to fund those accounts. People tend to ask, how safe are this platform? As long as they are regulated, they are safe. For someone like me, I've been investing for the last 3 years now. Nothing has happened to my money. Even though I would not want to disclose my portfolio, but my portfolio is not in the lower five figure. So don't be afraid to put your money there. It's not your £100 that they are going to take away. So they are safe. And once you link it together now, you just fund it. Quite straightforward. Then you can start investing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So obviously this video or whatever we are saying here is not a financial advice. Everyone that is watching this video, please also do your own research. Like we said in the beginning, you have to do your own research, read books, and know what to invest. So don't replace it for a professional advice. If you are to tell people to invest, how long do you think is worth keeping their money for? Because I know that on the investing app, they'll always tell you that previous performance does not indicate future performance as well.
Mm.
How long? You said you've been investing for 3 years. Do you think after 3 years, would you sell off your portfolio now to use the money to do something, or do you think you keep it to your retirement? What, like, your own personal? Obviously, everyone will do what works for them, but if you think people will benefit more, do you think they should leave it till they retire, or 5 years, or what's your advice?
Okay. So before we talk about that, let's talk about ways people can make money in the market first.
Okay.
So there are two ways you can make money in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is through capital appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
where you invest $100 in a company, and that company stock went to like $200. You make $100 on your money.
Yeah.
The second way is through dividends. Some companies shares their profits with their shareholder. That's the second way that you make money in the market. So if you invest in those companies, they are going to be paying you some dividend. It depends on which company. Some pays on quarterly basis, some on monthly basis, some just twice a year, and some just once. So it depends on which one you invest in, and you just be getting paid passively without doing anything than holding the stocks of that company. So those are ways you can make money. Now, back to the question on whether people should leave their money till retirement, or in 3 years sell it off, or in 5 years, and things like that. So when you are doing anything at all, you need to have a goal of why you are doing that. The investment you are doing, say for instance, for someone like me, I'm investing so that I can retire early and be financially free. And I've seen that the only way I can grow my money is to invest it. Someone can be investing to buy their house. Someone can be investing to buy a car. But that's where short-term goal and long-term goal comes to play. If you are investing for retirement, obviously you are playing a long game. We are talking about 20 years here. Because although it depends on your age, for somebody that is 20 years old or in their 20s, if they are investing for their retirement, obviously that person still have like 30, 20 years, depending on what year that they set to retire. For someone in their 40, they can be looking at retiring when they are 50, and that's what they are investing towards. For someone that wants to buy their house, do you want to buy the house in 2 years? Do you want to buy the house in 5 years? That will determine whether you actually need to invest the money at all, or just keep it in a savings account. Because the market is unpredictable. If it's a short-term goal and you put the money in the market, and when you need the money, the market is down, what do? So you may just keep it in your savings account and not invest it at all. So when people will take their money out, depends on their goal and why they are investing. But another thing I will say is that, especially for people that are investing in individual stocks, as we all know that individual stocks are much risky than things like ETF.
Yeah.
Because ETF, you are investing in a range of company. So it will take a macro event like COVID to bring an ETF down a lot.
Yeah.
But when you are investing in individual stocks, so just a bad news about the company can bring the stock down. And when it comes down, your money comes down, obviously.
Yeah.
So that is much risky. So for me personally, when I'm investing in individual stocks, you need to do your adequate research on that company. Look at the future prospect. What is the fundamental of that company? And what value can I buy this company on? When I buy a company like that, as long as the fundamental of that company has not changed, I plan to hold it until a certain percentage is reached in my profit. And when it reached that percentage, I will now sit down again and I will do the research that I've done again. That is, this company still have enough room to still grow more? If they still have enough room to still grow more, I don't have any reason to sell my investment. If they don't, then I may take out some profits. There is one stock I've invested in, it's Coinbase stock. This is not to tell you to go and buy it because I bought it. So I bought it around $52 ish, around 2022. The stock is now selling for over $300. So the return is insane. I have like 4 stocks like that. I've done amazingly well in my portfolio. Tesla is my favorite stock. This is not to tell you to buy it. I bought Tesla when it's below $200. It's also like $350 today. Did I take any profit out of those companies? I haven't. Because these are companies I still believe have a lot of room to grow
Tesla
into the future. So I will keep my money in this company. And I'll tell you how these companies work. When you buy a share of a good company, the company will keep growing, keep generating revenue, keep generating profit. The more they grow, let's say you have 10 shares now. The company grow to a certain stage, they do a stock split. If they do a 10-to-1, your 10 share has become 100 share. Recently, Nvidia did a stock split, 10-1. That's the most valuable company in the world. If you have 0.1 share of Nvidia, when they did that split, you have one share. That one share is now $140. For someone that have 10 share, 10 share has turned to $100, and it keep on growing. Let's say they also grow to an extent again, and they did another split. Your stock you get more stocks with the split. The split doesn't mean that you are getting more value for your money, but what it means that you have more stocks at a lower price because they've cut the price. But when it still grow, that's how people turn like 2,000 to like 100,000. Because if you bought a stock 2,000 and you have a 10 share, that stock grows to like 1,000, $1,000 a share. Obviously, your 2,000 for 10 shares turned to 200,000. They split it. The stock grow again to 1,000. Look at how much it's going to turn to. So people need to have goal. If you are investing for your retirement, you need to do it for the long term and keep on investing on a regular basis. If you are investing for the short term, then you work with your goal. So, but I've not seen anyone that have invested consistently for 3 to 5 years and lost money. Except if the person is gambling in the market and they are not investing in good companies.
Yeah.
If you have been investing in good company for that time frame, there is a lot of money to be made in the stock market.
Oh, I feel like I've learned so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think this information we've passed is enough to get people started. And if they need more details, they can go to your channel to watch and learn and ask you more questions. So what's your like final words to people looking at starting, or like what's your final words to wrap up? If you have any other thing that I not asked that you want to add, you can add it now.
So there are just few things I will add. The first thing is that fine, we've talked about stock market, we've talked about crypto, we've talked about everything, but there is something that people always miss out, and that is the employer's contribution, like the pension. That is the best place for people to start their investing journey. If it's present in your country, whether if you are in the USA, I know that they have things like 401k in the US. If you are in the UK, you have pension. I don't know if you have pension in Australia.
We have.
So if you are in Australia, you have pension.
We have
So
super, so it's called super.
Okay. So if you are someone that plan to stay long in a country and you plan to retire in that country, you are not living in like 5 years, then you should join the pension, because most employer will match whatever you contribute inside your pension. For the UK now, if you are not working with the NHS, your money is being matched by like 23%. That's just free money. My employer contribution pension this year was over 6K. And next year will be more because I've gotten salary increment. So imagine you are contributing this. That's the money you are not even seeing at all. The money is not even touching your account. But if you opted out of that pension, you are not going to be getting this money. All you will be getting is just your pension that's going to be taxed. Your pension is also preventing you from paying more tax, because the pension is removed before your salary is being taxed.
But when you retire, is your pension not going to be taxed?
It's going to be taxed, but with your match.
Okay.
Because if you are getting it before retirement, you are not getting the match at all.
Yeah.
So people should consider that.
Even if you don't have plans of retiring in that country, even when you go back to your own home country, you can still get this money to your account. I don't know. I think in the UK you can.
Yeah, you can still get the money.
You can get it even if you go back to Nigeria. Even here in Australia, if you go to Nigeria, and it will be better for you because then you're getting good currency when you are living in Nigeria. Okay, so
the thing is that many people just want to get that 100 to 200 pounds to add to their salary on monthly basis. But for me now, it doesn't really amount to anything. Like on the grand scheme of things. It
Yeah,
doesn't really
that's
amount to anything. I prefer to, as a matter of fact, when I'm calculating my net worth, I don't add the pension.
no, you don't do
It's
that.
just there somewhere, but I know that something is there. I'm likely going to retire earlier before the traditional age anyway, if I continue with this trajectory. So, and when I retire, I'm just going to take the 25% lump sum
Yeah.
at that time. So, but anyway, I just want to say, start from there. Another thing is that when you are investing in the stock market, whether you are in the UK, Australia, or anywhere, but there is one guy that's my acquaintance that is in Australia now. I don't think they have something like a stocks ISA in Australia. You just need to invest in a taxable account. So you
Yeah, we
need to
don't. I don't
consider,
think me too. I've not seen anything like stock
yeah.
ISA here, but we do
So
have like government scheme that they give us
mm,
some money to buy houses and all that.
so when you want to invest in the UK, the best account to have is the stocks ISA
Yeah,
because you can invest up to 20K. But that's not the
that's
benefit. The benefit is that your profits is not going to be taxed. If you make 20,000 on your 20,000, it's not going to be taxed. I mean, everyone, if we cannot run away from taxman in this country, we will, because they take much of our money. But if you invest in just general investment account that is not in an ISA, you are going to pay capital gain tax, which is 18% for basic taxpayer. It was just increased in this October. It was 10 before. It's now 18%. And for higher taxpayer, it's 24% on your profit. So consider the stocks ISA if you are in the UK. And my parting word is I've met a lot of nurses. 90% of the nurses, they love what they are doing, which is nursing. But at the same time, most will want to retire early. They don't want to do it in their 50s. If you don't, the earlier you start investing, the better, because you will take advantage of compound interest if you start early. If you are still in your 20s, you are very lucky to start early. Even if you are in your 30, you are very lucky as well. But for people that are in their 40 as well, it's not too late to start. Not investing at all is the biggest risk you can take. So guys, please start investing and take advantage of whatever investment you make. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
welcome.
guys, we finally come to the end. This is like almost 1 hour, and I hope people find it useful. Also, don't forget to go and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here as well, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. And yeah, leave all your comments in
Yeah,
the comment section.
I'll be in the comments to be answering
Yeah,
some
so
questions
he'll
as
be
well.
answering because me. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye.